I'm your host today, Clay. This is Tony Tone here to my left. And you might be noticing that we're missing Andy here. He is off. He's doing good work, all right? We want to wish him the best on his journey through the Amazon. He's traveling the world. I think he's conquering world hunger last that we checked in on him.
To be honest with you, he learned a new way to cultivate corn and other products last time I heard. And next thing you know, I heard there's a McDonald's in the middle of the Amazon. That was all Andy.
Wow. And it's a good McDonald's, too. It's a good food. It's healthy for you. I mean, it's wild. So he's doing good things out there. TCP's to him. Adam, he will be joining us here later. He was down in Nashville hanging out with his buddies this weekend, having a good time. So good job to him. Going down to Nashville, having a good time. Tony, how's your weekend been going? You just got back from vacation, didn't you?
I did. I took a nice mental vacation, went down, had a great time with the family. It was spectacular.
Good. Speaking of mental vacations, thank you guys for coming in for a mental vacation here on your Sunday. Got a jam-packed show today, but first, we want to let you know we got that live comment section down there. So if you want to comment some things in there that you think you'd like to hear us talk about, one, we'll be shocked that you'd like to hear us talk about anything. And two, we'll try to get here on the show for you and see how that's going. Also, shout out to Don Ooten. He is the winner for our Taco Bell gift card this week. Big shout out to him. Thank you. And he's a Cubs fan, so good guy.
Uten's going to be eaten. That's what everyone's saying.
Yeah, you know that Taco Bell. Thank you guys again for joining us today. We got a jam-packed show today. We're gonna have Zane Brownfield. He's from Piketon. He is a head hunter on that defense for Piketon out there, and they're looking
heavy
good
green.
Yes, I mean he's eating out there. And that they're picked to go far this year. Brock Netter actually picks them to win the league.
I'm not gonna lie to you, like learning more about these guys. It's getting my Jimmy's Russell, but I'm telling you. Like, can't wait
football
to talk
season's
to
coming because after him, we're going to go into we're going to go to Brice Wickline, gun slinger out there at Westfall. 2008 passing yards last year.
Wait, you said 2008 like the year?
No, that's how many yards he passed for last year.
Huh. Wait, like 200 more than the next guy?
What's this? So we'll have him on later, and then we'll finish with our guest with a good Jeff Miller, head coach of the Unioto girls. They went on a run last year, undefeated regular season, undefeated obviously in the conference too, getting a gold ball. And then having one thriller against Sheridan. Tony, we were just looking at the end of that game. I mean, Miley Smith and we want to double-check, make sure that is how you say her first name, Miley Smith. She goes completely off in that fourth quarter, comes back. One of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen.
That steal at the end of the game was elite.
Pickpocket. It was
elite.
That was some Steve Nash, Chris Paul-esque kind of steal right there.
Right place, right time. She knew what was happening in the game, and
that's
right there.
I'm glad you said that too. Right place, right time, but also right person in the right place at the right time. Because you can be. I've been the person at right place, right time, but I didn't come through.
Still didn't have the athletic ability to keep up.
She was smart enough in the athletic ability to get that steal. And what I love about it is it's not that she made the shot to win. She misses that first one, and instead of just shooting that and falling back to try and look cool of like, oh, I just hit a game winner, she stays with it and actually puts her own miss in to win the game. Yeah. And that's something that I think, just as a basketball coach, as a basketball fan myself, that I wish people would reach out more and say, like, when you shoot your jumper, you need to follow your shot. If you shoot your jumper, you start running down the end of the court, you are the number one person that knows where that's going to go.
I think one key piece is at the end of the game as well. That could have went to overtime.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, she did all of that still trying to win the game, not just knowing like, oh, I missed this jumper, it'll go into overtime or anything like that. Or, hey, she can take it down and wind the clock out. It's like, no, let me get this steal and still see what I got. Like, it's not just, a midpoint in the game. She couldn't necessarily gave up, but it's like exactly. She could have.
She could have shot that first shot and said, it either goes in, we win, it doesn't, we go to overtime and have her dice there. She said, no, We're winning it right now
Exactly.
on my back. I'm taking us to the promised land. So, as you can see, we'll have a lot to talk about today on today's show. First, we want to tell you, go give us a follow. Thank you for the people that have been subscribing, hitting us on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter at Ride the Wave Show 2023. You can follow us on Instagram at Ride the Wave Show. Obviously, you can find us on YouTube at Ride the Wave Show and on Spotify. And, just shoot us some ideas that they have for maybe some drafts for the show, because we've been going back and forth, and we want you to have a say in our show. This is for you. We could not do any of this without you guys. We can't say enough. Thank you guys. If this is nothing without our fans.
The show was founded on not that we were cool. It was that everybody in this community is so cool, and we want to highlight it. That's all it is. We want to be a platform for you guys.
Yes. So if you have some great draft ideas, if you have even guests that you think you'd like to see on the show, hit us on one of our socials, and we can't promise that we'll get every single guest on there, but we can definitely promise that we'll take a look at it. And we're always taking in good criticism and bad criticism. You know, it makes you better. But let's get into our first topic. The Browns starting off 1-0 this year. Hall of Fame game. What a heck of a comeback. They win 21-14. Now, this is typical Browns fan. I'm going to take this. We're 1-0. We're going to the Super Bowl. This is our year. We have finally made it to the promised land. We beat the New York Jets. So, but hey, 1-0. Tony, what did you think of the Hall of Fame game?
I'm going to start calling it the Hall of Paint game, because I'm really tired of people talking about, slipping and all this malarkey. I'm tired of it. It's that's all I read after the game.
And the flags, too, man.
I get it was just awful.
First game of the season, man. I get that, honestly, the refs are out there. They got a call and stuff like that. But can we please just let it slide a little bit? You know what I mean? It's first refs of live football, man. It's not gonna always look the best, but hey, it does, Mark. Football's back, baby. And that's all we're here for. Football's back.
I can smell it.
So it's heating up, man. We got volleyball. It's heating up here. They start in about a week. Football Friday nights start on the 18th this year. We can't wait for that. We got some things cooking for Football Friday nights, everybody. It is up to something season here, as the great Pat McAfee would like to say. But
it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yes, really and I think we've already announced that we will have our first game day show at Pay Valley High School for our first one right there in beautiful Coppers Mountain. So make sure you're catching that. That is August 18th. That will be when the first Friday night football game is. Tony, your first SVC season, man. How are you looking forward to it?
I'm really pumped.
Yeah?
I really am, just because I love that we got the couple warm-up shows and got things in when it was kind of the dead season in sports, because I got to talk to some of the athletes that were really great last year. And to be honest with you, I still get goosebumps because, they're way cooler than me. Exactly. I look at them, I'm like, how are these kids so cool? And I think talking to some of the coaches, I see where it trickles down. Yeah. I see where it's really coming from. And the only thing I haven't seen is the fan base, and that's the last variable. I've heard a lot about it.
I was going to say, that's what it's going to say. And I'm going to be biased. I think the Payne Valley community, I think the Payne Valley fans are the number one. They're definitely number one in my heart. I think they're number one in the SVC. But I will say, as just a fan of the SVC, everywhere's like that. I feel like every SVC school can say that, because every game you go to is electric. I know people talk about Texas football and how electric it is out there and stuff like that. I can't wait to see the look on your face for the first SVC football game of your life, man. It's going to be intense.
I'm just saying, this could be one of the first unbiased opinions to travel around. We're going to be doing a lot of shows in a lot of places.
Hey, more content for you to tune into here. Follow Tony on his ride through the learning of the SVC. Speaking of the SVC, though, Huntington, they had a scrimmage the other day against, I think it was South Gallia. It looked like it was going pretty good for them. They had some good refs. I saw some good plays out of them. Obviously, we don't want to put too much of their stuff out there, but it got me hungry for football to come back. And I love what they're doing out there, man. They got a good culture going.
They're dug in.
They are. And it looks like they know. The biggest thing with the football team is figuring out, what are we? Are we a ground and pound? Are we a pass? How are we going to take what we have and win? And it looks like they've figured that out there. And there's some heavy hitters, as you can see. It's just so exciting, man. I mean, we've had Chillicothe. They had a scrimmage on Saturday. I know Unioto either had a scrimmage or is about to have a scrimmage.
I'm sad Chillicothe is not in the SVC.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
We'll talk about them. We love them. But, like, man, I'm sad they're not.
It would be electric for sure. It would be electric. And Huntington last year, as we've talked about before, they're coming off of a 5-6 overall season. So they're coming off some good momentum. And, again, we aren't trying to say anything bad, but this is some good momentum that they've had in the coming years. And they were in some barn burners last year.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
what I think is good is they were coming out on top of those.
Yeah.
So that shows you that that's a team that they don't give up. They don't quit.
They got an extra gas tank.
They do. And you know, they don't play to the whistle. They play through the whistle. You know what I mean? And another team that I feel like that is Piketon. They finished last year flip-flop of Huntington. They finished at the 6-5.
I'm getting a little excited. Okay, so I don't even know if it was a full show or not, but we shot some footage and old Brock Netter was on there and he was talking about something, you know. So it got me a little excited.
Picked Piketon this year to win the SVC. Now they did win the SVC. I want to say that was in 2020. Let me double check here as we talk. But so they are. It's not like it has been a long time for the Piketon to have an SVC championship. So it's like some of the players that are on the team now were on the team that last time that they won. So they've seen how it needs to be done.
They've tasted
it's time for them to step up. And they had a good run last year, man. They go into the playoffs and they play a mean. Let me pull it up here. Sorry, I just had. Is that Barnesville? Yeah, Barnesville. And they only lose 21-14, so that's telling you that that's a game that can go either way. And Barnesville was a wagon last year. 11-1 was what Barnesville was. And they get put out by Wheelersburg, who, I mean...
Dogs.
They're a wagon. So for Piketon to only lose by a touchdown against an 11-1 team, that...
We talked about it last episode as well. It was a close game. We actually talked about that.
And again, we're not ones, honestly, to hand out participation trophies, obviously, but like that's something that you have to look at and build off of going into this next year.
Yep.
And I'll tell you, one person that could probably tell us about that is a guy that was, first time all SVC last year, leading tackler of this Piketon defense. Had 92 tackles, actually had 18 more tackles than the year before. So that's showing you he's going to keep growing and growing. He's probably going to hit, 120 this year? If I had to guess. He averaged 8.2 a games. The absolute hammer, Zane Brownfield.
Nice.
Hey.
Zane, how's it going, my man?
Good. How are you guys?
Oh, doing good, man. How's your summer been going?
It's been great.
Heck yeah, you got any exciting things? You going out to Kings Island? You going fishing? You going camping? You got anything like that going?
We just had fair, so fair's over. But yeah, I go to Kings Island. No, I don't do 4-H.
So you're just going for the fair food?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Me too, bub. I never did 4-H in my life.
Me either.
Philadelphia, I don't even know
I'm there
if it
for the
existed.
fatty foods, obviously. What's the first thing you're getting whenever you get to the fair?
Bourbon chicken.
Oh, let's go!
Man of my heart.
Yes. Now you gotta get a drink to wash it down. You getting some lemonade? You getting some water? What are you getting?
Sweet tea.
Sweet tea. All right, good choice.
These are
good
quick answers.
He's like, hey, I'm ready with this.
guy.
I'm ready. All right, Zane. Well, obviously you're a monster at picking great fair food, but you're obviously a monster on the football field as well, man. We've been looking over your highlights, dude. And you absolutely destroy people when you hit them. I mean, it looks like you're hitting people like they just stole your girlfriend in the lunchroom before. What?
Where did you learn to square like that?
Yes.
You're just planting dudes.
That's great coaching. I mean,
is it
sophomore year, the gold ball year, that's when we started working on tackling really a lot.
We just talked about that, yeah.
And, it looks like you have such a great pursuit angle, too. I'm sure you'll probably say it goes to coaching. Is that some drills that you're doing? I mean, you just have such a great pursuit angle. It's like you know where the runner's going before the runner knows where they're going.
every day at practice, we do at least 1 or 2 pursuit drills every day. So
heck
we
yeah.
do team pursuit, we do 3-man pursuit, and we work on that constantly because that's a huge part of our defense.
Right, right, and it looks like it looks like your defense is actually a huge part of your guys' team. Obviously, everybody knows defense wins championships. You guys have a good offense, but you have a good offense because it looks like your defense can keep the score low. You know, it's easy to be good when your defense kind of has your back. Does your quarterback and your offense kind of ever give you a pat on the back like, hey, you know, sorry about that last drive, but it's time for you to go out there and get a stop?
I mean, not really, because we know that we're a team, and there will be games where the defense will go out there. They may give up a couple, but then there's games where the offense will come out, put up 30, you know. So, I mean, it's kind of back and forth. Like, we're just here for each other.
We've had a lot of guys on this podcast so far, and honestly, not a lot of defense. That's what I played in high school. I was a corner, and, you know, everybody talks about these dogs and things like that, but, like, on defense, it's just a little bit of a different than a dog mentality. You need a little bit extra, a little bit of an edge, and man, even you could Google your name, and when you see some of these pictures, it's like, dude, are these guys okay? Like,
I saw you put somebody so hard into the turf that I thought they went like into the ground, dude. Like, you're hitting them.
But that being said, like, is that a mentality for you? Is that something that comes from the household? Is that, like, you keep talking coaching, but that comes from sometimes outside of football?
Actually, throughout the week, I try to build up anger, and then Friday night release it.
Heck yeah, man! I did. I did that in high school, man. I was an offensive lineman, and I the technique, nope. The strength, nope. But I would just take everything that made me mad throughout the entire week, and I just get like anger strength, kind of like what you said, and it kind of just puts you in a whole other place. Like, the play's over, and you're kind of like, I don't even know what I just did. Sorry.
I mean, you're just sharp between the eyes when you go in on Friday
night. Yeah. It looks too, man. Do you watch a lot of film throughout the week? Because it looks like you can read the plays really, really well. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Oh yeah, I mean, tons of film. You got to know what every team's doing in every formation, what they're going to do, down and distance. I mean, you just got to know that stuff. Right,
and then. You be the middle linebacker, man. You're like the quarterback of the defense. So is that like whatever? I want to know, man. It's 3rd and 4, right? You guys are playing Unioto. It's 14-14, and you're in the huddle. Like you saying, obviously you got to tell them to play. But you trying to give them like a little pick me up in the huddle too. Like, hey boys, let's go. We gotta get down. We gotta get dirty for this play. Get a big stop.
Oh, exactly. I mean, we got to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And depending on what formation. I mean, 3rd and 4 Unioto, bubble, slant.
Yeah. See, dude, the fact that he could that right there, ladies and gentlemen, lets you know this man watches his film, okay? I mean, for me to just throw a random situation out there, he goes, well, they're probably going to do this or going to do that. Is that coaches jamming it down your throat?
Hold on, let me stop you right there.
Okay.
It's a 3.9 GPA. I did a little bit of research here, okay, and I heard you got a 3.9, okay? He knows how to study.
Yeah,
bro.
I was about to say,
you keep asking me how he's doing it. It's studying, bud.
So is he just love watching film? Is that what it is?
It's a little bit of I love knowing what the other team's doing before they know what they're doing. But also, on the other hand, we have our coaches that are, you know, preach and watch film.
Heck yeah. So. And talking about that coaching, and you mentioned it earlier, Gold Ball season, what grade were you in whenever you guys won the Gold Ball?
That was my sophomore year.
Sophomore year? So yeah. How does that take your sophomore year? You win the Gold Ball. Now it's your senior year. It's your time to lead Piketon to the promised land. Like we said before, Brock Netter actually picks you guys to win the league this year. So that could put a target on some people's back. How are you guys going to respond to it?
You know, I mean, I think that if we just come out and we execute our game plan that we have every week, because we have great game plans. If we come out and execute our game plan every week and we be us, then I don't know if there's anyone that we play on our schedule that is going to beat us.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
That's what you got to do. You got to play your own game.
Yeah, and the good part is what he says, they got a good game plan. Like we were talking before with Huntington, they know what kind of team that they are. What's it like playing for Coach Gullion?
Oh, love it. I
Heck
mean,
yeah.
it's a thrill. It's fun because he makes it fun, but also,
Hell
you
yeah.
know, when you got to be serious, you got to be serious.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Is he a big motivator guy? Is he like giving you a big motivational speech before you go out there? Is he a little bit more tactical? How is he like before the games?
I would say there's a medium between the both
Mm-hmm.
because he's tactical, but also at the same point, or at the same, I mean, he's giving speeches before games and
Yeah.
getting us hype and,
Yeah.
you know.
I'll tell you. So I was the guy before the games. I was like, I'm not very I wasn't very good. I just started as a lineman because I was big. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get the team juice. I'm gonna give these big motivational speeches. So I was like, what am I gonna do? We had an ROTC and they had the swords out for homecoming, and they're like this, right? And I was like, all right. I was like, I'm gonna run up. I'm gonna grab the sword. I'm gonna charge out there. It's gonna pump everybody up. So I go up. I grabbed the sword. I said, hey, is this fine if I do this? And the ROTC guy said, yeah, it's totally fine. I said, sweet. So we're standing there, we're about to run through the cheerleaders and stuff, and I was like, give him this huge motivational speech. And I go, charge! And we run out there, and I'm running full speed, and I jump up to turn around and look at everybody, twist my ankle, fall down, throw the sword like 8 feet. It was terrible. It was.
If you could take one thing away from this,
Don't
next
grab
year,
the sword. Don't grab the
use
sword.
your senior year wisely.
But the whole thing behind that is I want to say, when it comes to pregame, there's people like me that try to be awesome and then end up failing miserably. Then there's some people that I remember Anthony McFadden, he would kind of just get real quiet, but it was like that killer quiet.
You were like, don't even talk to me. I should be more like him.
Exactly. Which one would you say that you're like? Would you say that you're more of like a motivational speaker, or do you just go into a zone before you go out there like, I'm about to put my head physically through somebody's chest on this defensive end?
Mm-hmm.
I'm definitely the quiet one. I don't speak. I'm in my own head. You know, I feel like I could stare through a wall.
All right, so there's two things here. One, I figured you'd say that because I was also a player. I was smaller and I was a corner, so I always wanted to build up that whole week's tension and come in. When you do that, you don't want to be rah-rah. You're like, I'm putting this right at the edge of the tank. But with two, did you have any yappy corners like on your team? Like, is there somebody, because they talk about the linebackers, say, here's the play, da-da-da-da. I was never that guy because I was just a lily corner out there.
Yeah.
You knew what I did. But I would also, as soon as the huddle break, be like, gah, gah, gah. Is there anybody we should looking out on that defense for other than you?
Other than me, we got a lot of young guys coming up.
Yeah.
But returners, our safety moved to Waverly, so we got Brent McGuire back there, and he's been looking really well in practice scrimmages, you know, and I think that he could have a really good season this year.
That's good. It sounds like next man up mentality too. I mean, it just sounds like, you lose your safety, I think is what you said, but it seems like he's stepping up saying, hey, I was made for this too, so that's really good. And I see here too, sorry, I'm looking at your games last year. I mean, you beat Goshen 14-12, nail biter right there. You come on the winning side of the Westfall 36-32. And then, like we said before, you have the close loss in the playoffs, the 21-14 loss. It looks like whenever you guys were in close games, you didn't fold. You kind of rose to the occasion. Can you kind of speak on that for us, on what it makes you guys be like that? I mean,
is it a mentality?
Yeah,
like every game that's close, you really don't lose.
Yeah,
you know,
it looks like the only
the
one
playoff
was
close.
was
but
the
of course,
playoff
that's
one,
playoff
but
football.
again, you're going up against an 11-1 team, and you gave them a run for their money. Can you talk about, like, when it comes to crunch time, like, why you guys seem not to fold?
Not even throughout the week, starting at the beginning of the year, starting in July. I mean, the coaches are just putting it in our head. We got to play fast, and the conditioning that we do helps us play fast all game. And we got platoons that we can platoon swap, and we're just deep enough to play that fast.
Heck yeah. Hey.
It has to be conditioning.
Fast is key,
you look
man.
at any sport, the one that separates it, close games.
Yes. And I want to I don't want to keep talking about it. I'm sorry. But, again, Barnesville's 11-1. You only lose by a touchdown. And if I can remember the game, you guys were right there the entire time. And I feel like it's not what you guys did. I don't think you guys really did anything wrong that game. It's just a couple of bounces don't go your way. How do you take such a close loss to such a good team as momentum into this year to get over that hump and make that deep playoff run?
I mean, we got to come in with a chip on our shoulder, but we also got to come in with confidence because, you know, like you said, Brock picking us to win the league. And when a team comes in with confidence and a chip on their shoulder, that can get scary.
Oh, that can get real dangerous. Real dangerous. Especially with a heavy hitter like that. Oh, my God. I would not want to be I would not want to be picking this guy up on a blitz, man. Thank you again. We want to reach out. Thank you so much again for coming on the show. We were just watching your tape, man, on your Twitter and your highlight. I mean, you just jump off the screen. Has football been something that you've just loved as a kid? What's your football journey been like?
You know, growing up, I always loved football, watching it, playing it, and, I mean, here I am. So I
So
think
let me ask
watching
you this. A guy that rolls in with a lot of anger and things, there's an off season, okay? You got to wind down a little bit. What are you doing? How do you chill out?
I lift. I like to lift in the off season, you know, stay in shape. But
That's
also,
why you're destroying kids out here. What do you like to work on? Bench, squat? What's kind of your lift routine?
my favorite's squat, definitely.
Hell yeah. And you play some running back too, right? On the offensive side?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So do you ever use anything like because obviously you're mainly defensive guy, but do you ever use anything like that you're learning while you're running back to take over back on the defensive side to maybe look for?
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's things that our coaches tell us not to do where you're giving away what you're doing, not even just in a game, on film as well. And I can use that when I'm on defense, watch the running back, watch what they're doing, but as well as the footwork that we get taught at Piketon. It helps me on defense as well.
Heck yeah, man. That's so cool. Do you play anything other than football? Sorry, I should have done better research, but
No, football is my only sport I play.
Football is life. Heck yeah, man. Are you trying to play? Are you getting any offers after school or anything like that? What's your plan after school?
I think I'm just going to get a Shawnee education. I am
nice.
getting a couple offers here and there, but I think that I'm just not going to play football in college.
I've
heck
got a degree from there. To be honest, man, I went to a couple different colleges. It was nice. It's small. Like, if you want to learn a little bit, the teacher's a thing. You're not another number. It was a nice place down there.
What are you trying to get your degree in? Do you have an idea yet?
Environmental engineering.
Oh, heck yeah, man. That's awesome. Hell yeah.
Well, I can speak on Shawnee State, but I don't even know what that means. 3.9 might not have been me.
I was about to say, look at your GPA, the 3.8, 3.9. Just listen to you talk, how you present yourself. Honestly, and that's something that's really cool about sports, man. You can kind of see on the field what he does is just going to lead to success for you off the field and whenever you're done. Zane, we cannot wait to get out there and watch you guys play this year. I think we're in the talks of being out there week 2 game day. I don't know. We might.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll be still in some talks with that, but it's in the rumbles. Do you have anybody you would like to shout out while you're here on the show?
Shout out Tanner Nichols from Waverly. He's in the other room and they're watching the show right now.
Hey! What's up, Tanner? All right. Actually, hey, we'll give a shout out to Tanner since you did too. He is actually on one of our top 5 draft boards for wide receivers in the fantasy league this year. And actually, Zane, that defense, it's kind of getting fought over in that SBC fantasy
We
draft.
got an SBC fantasy coming up, and there's a couple Piketon things we went over.
So, hey, Zane, again, thank you so much for coming out and being on the show. We cannot wait to see you cracking skulls out there on the gridiron this year, man. And we just really appreciate you coming on.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Awesome. Everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Zane Brownfield! Dude, what an interview.
What is the insurance policy like at the SBC? Oh, my God.
That first clip that Derek shows, man, I think they're playing I want to say Huntington just because it's green and white or some black in there. But it's a goal line stand. Goal line stand. He explodes through that A-gap and just destroys the running back, causes a fumble, and then I think he either picks it up or he's right there too, and his teammate does. But, like, just listening to him talk, man, you can tell why he's in that A-gap because he knew it was going to that A-gap pretty much as soon as they broke the huddle.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I'm like, hey, I'm just going hypothetical, like, hey, what are you going to tell your team to pump up wise? He goes, oh, well, if it's a 3rd and 10, Unioto's going to do the bubble screen. I was like, oh, my God. So, I mean, that
he
just
can sit there and give it to coaching. Bill Belichick could be his coach.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just
you got to want to do it.
It's not just coaching.
Yes.
Like,
you got to want to do it. And the cool thing about his man is it doesn't sound like he just wants to do it. It sounds like he loves to do it. You know what I mean? You're the defensive guy, man. What did you think about his film? I mean, his footwork looked flawless.
one thing that just I kind of brought up is I loved having somebody in the huddle that was just like, he could be the best player on the team and he might not be saying a word. You just know he knows what he's doing, and if you needed something or if you're going to need help on a tackle, he's going to be there. Like, he didn't need to talk or anything, and it was so calming because obviously being on this, you can see I'm a big mouth.
Yeah.
So it's like for somebody like me who's yappy and might need some help on the back end because usually I did.
And it has to be calming, too, when you have your quarterback of the defense in him and you know he's Peyton Manning-esque. Like, he knows what – say the coach calls it right, and he's saying to it and confident. Oh, what do we have here? Oh, ladies and gentlemen, what's this?
God, what? No way. I guess. Should we just do it live?
Oh, really?
Look at it.
Oh, my gosh. Let's see. Ladies and gentlemen, we have breaking news. This year, the Ride the Wave show was going to do an SVC Fantasy Football League. That is no longer. Instead, we will be doing the Ride the Wave Fantasy League because we will be adding Chillicothe, Jackson, McLean, Washington Courthouse, and Waverly players.
Bring it the hell,
baby! We did it! It's real! It's real! It's real!
We are not biased here at the Ride the Wave show, and we want everyone to be included. We had to check with multiple people, thousands to be exact.
Big negotiation talks. Big negotiation
right
talks.
here on the show. Just got news.
Thank you to our one and only Trevor to bring us the great news and breaking news. So let's elaborate on this. Do you think we should elaborate on this, Tony, a little bit?
Bring it on. Let's give him a little taster.
So, us here at the Ride the Wave show thought it'd be a great idea to have a fantasy football league for the SVC. We think it would bring way more viewers to the games. It would give the kids something cool to track their stats with, and we thought it would be something really, really fun for us to do and to present to you guys. Are we gambling? No. Are we trying to belittle any players? No. This is 100% something that we want to do for fun for the kids. This is 100% for the kids. No gambling, no gimmicks, no nothing.
We did something very similar in high school. It was fun for us. That's why we're doing it. Whether it could be something you can add to a highlight reel you keep, not even for college or anything. If we can sit here and be talking about your stats and your things, that's what it's for. It's a platform. It's not about betting. It's not about belittling any athletes or anything like that. It is literally we want to build you guys up as much as possible, and we feel like this will just bring more people to do that for you. You know, we want people to see Piketon's defense when we draft him, which I might do first overall. After speaking to that, man, I might.
We thought about just keeping it the SVC, but we thought, why? So we went ahead and added Chillicothe, Jackson, McLean, Washington Courthouse, and Waverly, because they're all right here. Most of them are in the FAC.
We've talked to some great people.
Oh, wait,
from
hold on.
there.
I'm getting some in my ear. Vinton County, too? Oh, my goodness. Vinton County has now just been added to the – see? I mean, oh, my goodness. So, again, how is this going to work?
Adam hasn't eaten in 16 days working on this Vinton County lead. Okay, I just got off the phone with him. He is now eating 6 pizza rolls.
Thank you, Adam.
Without him, we have no Vinton County.
So this is how this will work. Us here at the show, me, Tony, Adam, Andy, MVD, thank you, MVD, and Trevor, our breaking news analyst here, will each have a team. It will have a quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a flex, a super flex, and a defense. So we'll have each player's points put out every single week. We will talk about on the show, and we'll actually try to have a second show where we're just talking about the SVC fantasy. And that's something that will be coming up soon, and we'll be letting you guys know about. Now, how's the draft going to work? Can people watch that?
I think it may or may not be
live. Yeah, I forgot. It's going to be live right here. So what did we want to do? We want to make sure that this is as knowledgeable and as fun as possible. So Sunday, August 13th, a week from today?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days.
Oh, my goodness, a week from today. You can watch it right here as we draft the players with a full commissioner. And we're going to have some people break down these picks that know them better than anybody in this area will. The one and only Brock Netter and Derek Webb will be there. They'll be giving you inside analysts on how the players were before, how they think that draft pick will be, and you'll get to hear our side of why we thought that would be a good draft pick. So please follow along as the season goes. It'll be a whole lot of fun. It's a great way to promote these kids and what they're doing, and we're just excited. Tony.
Yeah. To be honest, I want to first establish again, it's all in good fun. That's what we're starting it with. So when you pick your teams and things rotate in and out, like just pick it at the start of the season, make it a deadlock, and just different things like that. Just have fun with it. It has nothing to do with the week to week, but I'll tell you one thing. I'm super excited about it. Like when we did it, like I'd come out and say it was, we got to go way back when I'm talking about this. But say I had an interception, because that didn't happen later on in the career. But early on, say I had one, you walk off and you're like, you look at your defense that day. We're talking to each other. And we're like, man, we would have put up 27 fantasy points that week. Like, it's fun. That's what we want to see, and that's what we want to do.
And it's just another way, like you just said, to promote these kids. And I'll tell you, I think I already know who I'm eyeing for the QB.
I have first pick.
Wait, we didn't do that yet.
But I just called it, so.
Oh, dibs? Is that how that's going to work? Well, Tony, I think somebody that could make a case for the first QB off the board. Now, I know some people have their picks as well, but this guy had 2,000 passing yards. Number 1 in the SVC last year. 16 passing touchdowns, 59% completions. Listen, this man wasn't just feeding one man. He wasn't just feeding 2 men. He had 3 receivers in the top 5 for yards and receptions.
This just in, that's a lot of everything.
Guys, we're talking about the one, the only, the gun slinger, Brice Wickline. Brice, how's it going, my man? Uh-oh.
It's going good.
Yeah. Sorry we cut to you a little early there. We just got excited, man. I'm here looking at your stats, talking about the SVC fantasy that we're going into. 2,000 yards, dude? What the heck? Talk on that.
I had great receivers. We had an old line. They stepped up. The receivers.
I love that.
I can't even talk about all the receivers. We had great skill position, and they helped me out a lot.
I want to touch on something you just said. A lot of quarterbacks will touch on it. I have great wide receivers. I have great running backs. The fact that this man, first thing he says,
former O-lineman.
I had a great O-line. that warms my heart. How did you come to the understanding of how important your O-line is. Obviously, you need good wide receivers and good running backs and stuff like that. But the O-line is the one's keeping you safe, man.
Oh yeah, they are. Freshman sophomore year, we had very young team, so we didn't have much time. Last year we stepped it up a little bit, and then I had all the time in the world really, and it really helped me out.
I would say so. 2008 yards, man. That just happened by
That's
accident.
a ton.
It is.
Like literal ton.
And I want to talk to you because you had some nail biters. You opened up with a big win for the season last year, 38-20 over Madison Plains. And then you had a lot of close games there that, just a couple of bounces go the other way, and you guys are on the winning side of that. I feel most teams, they let get that down for them. How do you take those close games this year and add that for fuel going into or last year and add that to fuel going into this year?
That just motivated us. I mean, we had like 3-4 games, and we lost 20 points combined in 3-4 games.
Wow.
I mean, that just pushed us. I mean, we're right there. Compete with these good teams.
Mm-hmm.
We think we can.
Yeah, the Bengals did the same
going forward
thing
this year, and
they had like 5 nail biters next year. They're in the Super Bowl.
And one way to know that you have a shot is having a good quarterback. And I kind of wanted to touch on this because the SVC is just preliminarily known as a ground and pound league. Most teams that you see. Not even just having success, just playing in the league is we're going to run it down your throat and then we're going to maybe pass here and there. It looks like you guys took the approach of we're going to air it out. And I would say it's working. I mean, 2008 yards, 16 touchdowns. I mean, and every single game you guys were in. How do you take that approach of passing over running and try and implement that into a run-happy league?
Oh, we love it. I love throwing the ball, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my job. But, the SVC is a ground, run game. But we come in, we throw the ball around, and it makes us different. It gives us an identity. That's what I think. And,
I love that, man. It really does. And I love – we've been talking about it on the show almost all day, teams knowing their identity and just leaning into it. And you're saying you can throw the ball and everything like that. We're showing you your highlights here. You're slinging it.
I'm looking at it. Do you have a dartboard in your basement? These are darts.
They are.
Dude.
They are dimes. They're Brice dimes. But here's the crazy thing. 2008 yards, you're slinging at 16 touchdowns. Some of these highlights, though, you hit the middle of the hole and you just take off, man. Is running something that you add into your game, or is it just an instinct that you have?
So freshman, sophomore year, I was a running back. I've only played quarterback. Last year was my first real year playing quarterback. So running with the ball, I love running the ball. I love passing the ball.
Cheat code.
I love it.
Last year was your first year playing quarterback, and you threw 2,008 yards?
Yep.
Oh, my gosh, dude. Oh,
interesting concept.
Dude, he's going for 4,000 this year. My goodness. Oh, man, awesome. That's awesome. So how did you say you were – I'm sorry, that blew my mind when you said that. I kind of didn't hear – did you say you were a running back before?
Yeah, freshman year, I was backup running back. Sophomore year, we had a small team. I played quarterback a little bit, but, it was, the first 2 games, and it just didn't work out. So they moved me back to running back, and that was me.
So how do you take – oh, I'm sorry. How do you take –
Last year, Coach Stepp – sorry.
Yeah, sorry, you keep going.
So last year, Coach Stepp came in. He played quarterback in college and really just taught me everything. And then awesome. I took off.
That's what it takes. You have the athletic ability. Sometimes it just takes that coach to unlock it a little bit.
And what do you take from being a running back? Do you take anything from what you did as a running back and put it into, being a quarterback? Is there any crossover there?
Oh, yeah. I can – when I'm running the ball, I can read the line, see holes. I can cut back,
That's awesome.
RPOs. I can read ends.
Is that? Do you guys do a lot of RPOs? I don't know if I'm allowed to ask you that.
Yeah, it's 50-50 on that. Maybe.
I don't know. You'll see.
I'm trying to get
confidential.
You'll see.
Oh, dude. Yeah. I love it. But yeah, man, you kind of talked on it whenever you first came on here. Your receivers, they're special, especially with a special quarterback. Do you guys do anything off the field to kind of help keep that bond going?
Yeah. The receivers and I, like, we're I've known all the receivers all my life. Like, we're good friends.
Awesome.
We hang out outside. We play video games together. All that.
Heck yeah, man.
So we're good friends, and
I think it shows in the stats.
yeah, I was about to say. I mean, this is going to be kind of a weird question. Whenever the coach calls in the play, right, and obviously you're going to know which route's which. What is your favorite route to throw to?
I like to throw the fade. I like to throw it out.
Hell yeah.
Air it
I
out,
love
vertical
that.
routes.
I was hoping so much he said that. Just a little flick of it. Who do you try and emulate your game after?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of me, I guess.
Oh, dude.
I just try to be myself.
I love
I'll tell
that
you
so
this.
much.
I don't know if you'll like it, but one of my favorite quotes ever is from Allen Iverson.
Yeah.
Okay, and he
Yeah.
says, "I don't want to be Michael Jordan. I want to be Allen Iverson." It's
That's awesome.
It's one of those things, man.
That's
Sometimes
awesome, man.
you don't need to emulate. You find things you like in people, and you do that.
Yeah. And, I mean, we've been gassing you up on the football field, but it looks like wrestling, too. The team last year, you guys win the SVC, right, as a team, and then you and a couple other guys make it to state. Is that correct?
Yeah, we had I think we had 4 kids make it to state. I think
my
it's
God.
the most in school history.
Hell yeah.
2 placers. We won the SVC. We've won the SVC I think 7 years in a row now.
Oh,
But wrestling
wow.
is
Call them the
wrestling's-
UCLA of wrestling.
Jeez.
Jeez. Sorry.
wrestling's our sport.
Yeah, I see
At
that,
Westfall.
man.
So
And
I
then
I
we're
did wrestle.
We're bringing football up there too.
Yeah.
I did wrestle in high school. I was trash, so I don't want to sit here and act like I had anything to offer in terms of like skill or anything, but played for a good school. That being said, what do you think transitions from wrestling to football? You know what I mean? Like, I know when you're running and, you know, the way you hit some of those holes, like that leverage that you have, I know that's going to come from it, but is there anything else that you really see?
I mean, physicality and hard work, and just you never give up on the mat. You never give up on the field. I mean, it carries over.
I
Dude,
love that.
A quarterback to have that mentality. That's the thing. A lot
Yeah.
of quarterbacks don't have a wrestling mentality. Like, wrestling's tough, man. When people are grinding on you and you're sitting there and you're just almost in a position where you feel like you can't do anything, you got no gas left.
Yeah.
A lot of quarterbacks don't have that. It's
And
the
I feel
quality
like
to have.
and like you said, wrestling, man. I mean, I didn't wrestle, but watching it, like you got to get tired quick
It's
doing that
just
stuff.
straight strength the whole
Yeah.
time, man.
And
It's
sorry, what were you saying?
crazy.
It
It's
is.
crazy. It's
It
something
is.
else. It's a different.
What made you
kinda
get into
crazy.
wrestling? Did you do wrestling as a kid? Because at Paint Valley, we had like little cats wrestling, but I never really saw it at like, a bunch of other schools. So did you do it as a kid, or is it something that you just saw in middle school that you wanted to try?
No, I've been wrestling since I was 4 or 5 years old. My older
Hell yeah.
sister, she was a wrestler. She 3-time national champion. She was a good wrestler. So our family, we're just a family thing, I guess. We've always been wrestling.
My sister was a 3-time national champion. She's all right. She's
She's all right. She can't beat me.
Right.
Oh,
She can't beat me, that's all.
yes!
That's
Bryce, I love that.
I don't want to be
so
at Thanksgiving
much.
dinner for this. Get the mat out.
That's awesome. So yeah, it looks like wrestling's pretty big in your family. Then I would say
Yep.
you playing baseball too, though, right?
Yeah, I play baseball.
Okay, so do you just play for the school, or you do some travel ball as well?
Well, usually I play travel ball, but this year I had surgery on my shoulder, so I couldn't play. But
How's
yeah,
that?
usually I'm school and travel.
How's that shoulder? Is it getting healed up now?
Oh, it's good.
Heck yeah, man.
Better than ever.
So you're a quarterback. Are you a pitcher in baseball? Are you playing outfield? What are you doing there?
I'm a catcher.
Makes sense.
Catcher.
Makes sense. You got good pickoffs the first.
Yeah. We'll
Yeah?
see. I can throw down the second.
He said that's where I'm going. Sorry, dude. That's awesome, man. Have you? I know you just said you had shoulder surgery. Have you been doing anything in the off season? I mean, school's out, summertime. I know you got to go to football and lift and do all that. You doing anything to, have some fun in the summer?
I mean, yeah. Me and my friends, we go fishing all the time.
Heck yeah.
Playing golf. We playing golf recently. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you go Top Golf or you do real golf?
I haven't gone actually golfing yet, but we've been to Top Golf a couple times this summer.
Dude, I
it's a
love Top
blast.
Golf. It is so much fun. I'm too fat to walk the course, so I just go to Top Golf and do the free driving range. They got good food up there too, man. It is surprisingly delicious. Surprisingly delicious.
Yeah.
But hey, man. So sorry, we'll go back to football here. I mean, it's right around the corner. You're coming off a 2,000-yard season, right? Obviously, it doesn't go how you guys wanted to last year. We've talked about that. But talking to you, man, looking at some of your highlight tapes, it looks like you guys got a pretty good shot this year. What's some things that you guys are harping on the offseason?
Hard work. Hard work is it's right there. Never give up and being disciplined. We need to stay disciplined.
Yeah.
Turnovers, we got to limit the turnovers,
Right.
of course, and then penalties.
Yeah.
Penalties killed us last year, but turnover and penalties really are what killed us last year. But we're working hard. We're getting better every day.
Heck yeah, man. I love to hear that. You guys in two-a-days right now, or did you already have two-a-days?
No, we just have a long practice.
Hey, those 2 days were brutal, man. I can't. You guys still have grass out there, right, for your football field?
Yeah, we got a grass field.
Dude, I love that. Hey, so you play on grass, you play on turf. Which one do you prefer?
Personally, I prefer turf.
You do.
But a lot of the guys on my team are like, it hurts my feet. Yeah, but I don't know. That's not me.
Dude,
I don't mind it.
The only number one thing I remember about turf is, like, in the beginning of the season, I remember we went down to some Cincinnati school, and that turf got hot, dude, and my feet were on fire. But I mean, it's not, dude. I'm guessing like people like the skill athletes, it does make you a lot quicker. It makes you a lot quicker.
Oh yeah.
Well, hey, Brice, we want to say, man, thank you so much for coming out. I just have to read off this stat, so it's kind of weird that it's from Piketon last year, so we had a Westfall and a Piketon guy on. This man threw 24 for 25, 353 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown in one game. 24 for 25. I got to ask, man, were you just in a zone? I mean, what happened that night?
We were all locked in. That was the best game we played that year. We were really wanting to win that game. But,
yeah.
We were all locked in. I was hitting everybody.
Literally everybody.
Everybody.
Honestly speaking, I'm looking really forward to seeing more of that this year. Man.
Yeah, man. I mean, like we said before he came on here, we got the SVC fantasy draft that we got coming up. I don't understand why all signs don't point to him as number 1 QB. I mean, and I read off this one. You had a 24 for 25. I saw there's only like 3-4 incompletions a game. I mean, what do you do to keep your incompletions so low in a game? Because that's crucial to not have a quarterback turn the ball over.
We, like I said, me and the receivers, we got good chemistry. We're, best friends for a long time. So it's the chemistry and then practice. I mean, all day, every day.
It's
better.
like that a different brain wave. You know what I mean?
Really
it's almost
is.
like he knows where the receiver's going to be. And it seems like you're making smart decisions too. Because like I said, you didn't have a whole lot of interceptions last year, so it didn't look like you were forcing things into coverage and stuff like that. Do you guys do? I don't know if I'm literally allowed to ask this, but I will. Do you get audibles whenever you come up? Like, are you allowed to switch up?
Last year, not so much, but we're probably going to work on that a little more this year.
Nice. I love it.
First year, I understand it.
Hey, first year through 2,000 yards, they're like, maybe we should,
No, maybe we'll see what he sees.
Brice, hey, you got any shout-outs that you want to give to the show before you get out of here?
Yeah, I'd like to shout out my family. I mean, they're always there supporting me. They're great. I love them all. And my coach, Coach Stepp, quarterback coach, head coach. He's head coach, but he played quarterback, taught me everything about quarterback, and he's always there with me. He loves me like I'm his own kid. I mean, he's a great guy.
Brice,
we'd love to hear it.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad that you have that kind of support. You can have that kind of support system, man. And it seems we do, again, 24 for 25 for almost over 350 and 3 touchdowns.
I'm excited for this year, man.
Brice, you're going to do, just looking at your Stats, looking at you on the football field, good to talk to you, man. You're going to be doing great things. What are you looking to do after high school? Go into college for some sports, or are you looking for a certain degree?
I'd love to play college football.
Hell yeah.
That's what I want to do.
You have any offers yet?
No. I was hoping to go some camps this summer, but then with the whole shoulder thing, I wasn't cleared, and
Hey,
now I'm just working this year. I got to do good this year.
prove it deal, man. Hey, and I feel like you're going to prove them. You'll be like, you should have been giving this to me with the injury.
I kind of I want to say something, but I think there's something brewing down there.
I
Something
do,
that we
man.
might have touched on in the small groups or something. I think something that might be helping this thing along, you know?
Brice, I can't wait to watch you on the field, man. And thank you so much for taking some time out of your Sunday to come talk to us.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for having me on the show, man.
Heck
problem,
yeah.
man. We'll be
Everyone, ladies and gentlemen, the gunslinger, Brice Wickline. Thanks, buddy. Man,
Thank you guys.
No problem, man.
what an interview, dude. I mean, oh my God.
I don't know why I ripped the mic away from my face, but I'd be like, I love him. What a
Dude,
great dude, man.
24. I'm going to say this again. 24 of 25.
It's like you almost want to ask what the one missed pass was, but you don't want to harp on it because
Yeah.
it's so cool. But I'm like, so what was it just a slip? Was
Or
it
like,
just
you got
a
tackled as you're
threw-
throwing
yeah,
the ball.
you know,
Exactly.
it's
That's
like,
what, but, dude, and he said that, this is what I loved about that. He's like, yeah, I was locked in, but like we were locked in as a team.
Yeah.
And that's something, excuse me, that I thought was really cool because, again, he could have gone 24 for 25, came on the show and been like, I'm amazing. I was in the zone. I was finding my receivers. I was throwing them open, blah, blah. No, he was like, I was in the zone.
straight to we.
And my receivers were in the zone. I mean, he's shouting out his O-line.
Best game we played all year.
It's insane, man, and it just goes to show another reason why we need to show why we need a show like this, why we need to show these kids is because they're not just great athletes, they are great human beings. I mean, every single person we've had on here is almost instantly straight to, oh, my teammates, my coaches, my teammates, my coaches, and you guys might think it's cliche, but it's not. It's just the truth, you know?
It really is. Like, because they're not fake dancers the way
No.
they're put. You know, you can give a Peyton Manning answer all you want, but it's just not that.
Exactly. And, I mean, speaking of Peyton Manning, like, 2008 yards? What?
That's a freaking
Is it-
ton,
Dude, and that's what I'm saying, and that's why I wanted to bring up to him, too, is like, you know, SVC's a run league. You don't come here and pass, and Westfall said, you know, we are going to come here and pass, and they found success. You don't have a 2,000-yard passing season and say it wasn't a success. You know what I mean? I mean, that is a successful season in my eyes, and I think it is a beautiful, beautiful thing to see, man, because I love watching the ball be thrown.
Yeah.
I mean, ground and pound all you want. And talk about football, too, Big Ten country here. Tony, what are your thoughts about Oregon and Washington joining UCLA and USC joining the Big Ten?
I mean, I like it. I mean, at this point, there's going to be change. Everybody that's trying to harp on, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it, and all these things like that. It's just, it's going to change, so it might as well be good for us. And I think that those four teams are really good for the Big Ten, and having history with the Rose Bowl, playing the Pac-12 and different teams like that quite often, it slides right in. I know they're kind of on the other side, but we're kind of mid-situated, so if we have to travel
I'm kind
out
of
there,
with
it's
you,
not the
man.
end of
Like,
the world.
I understand, like, people are trying to say, you know, it's pro sports now, it's not college sports, which I get because they're getting paid and everything like that. But whenever it's a college Saturday and I turn on college game day and I turn on the football game, whatever it is, Ohio State, Notre Dame, whoever I'm watching, it's like, I still get the same feeling. I mean, these are kids out there. These are amateurs. You know what I mean? And they're out repping for their school. They're not out for the money. You know what I mean? I feel like, yes, they're trying to make money, but I don't think they're out for the money. Yeah, you're transferring and stuff like that so you can make more. But I feel like it's more the fans make what college football is. I don't want to say more than the athletes, but I mean, I like college football for prime example. LSU's football stadium. I don't care if LSU's playing an FAC school. You know what I mean? I want to watch it because that stadium is packed. It looks amazing. Like, it's
The players rotate. You know what I mean? Like it's 4 to 5 years max.
Yes.
It's like you can't really have those 13-year quarterbacks and things. So you pretty much have to have a fan base that's willing to be more unified rather than being with the players. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we like this guy and we can bicker about who we like. Where in college, it's like, no, we just have to like the same team. Like,
You get that in your ear? I think we have somebody coming on the show. Oh. Is that Adam? Oh, guys, coming in. Adam! I think Adam's here. Hey!
What's happening, fellas?
Adam, how's your Nashville weekend, my man? What were we down there for?
Well, it was my sales manager's bachelor party. Shout out Kevin Putnam.
Shout
Hell
out.
of a guy. But yeah, I will. I'm gonna quote Jack Black. Does anybody know what a hangover is, kids?
Isn't that because saying you're drunk?
No, it means I was drunk yesterday.
Oh! So, Adam, we want to give you a little thank you because we know you've been doing a hard work back scenes to get Vinton County into the Fantasy Football League, my brother. We actually just got on the show.
I love it.
Hey, what do you think, man? So we got Vinton County, we got Jackson, we got Waverly, McLean, Chillicothe, Washington Courthouse. I think that's all the schools that we added.
I think it is.
Yeah. What do you think, man? Are you getting excited for SVC? Or I guess you can't call that anymore.
I love it. I love it. Just the honestly, I think I'm glad we're getting Waverly in there almost as much as I'm glad we're getting Vinton County in there, just because it kind of felt weird leaving them out. You know, it's a team that so many of these guys play.
Yeah, and Waverly, they play Zane Trace, they play Unioto. I almost said Chillicothe, but I don't think so. So they play.
I'm pretty sure they play Piketon, don't they?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they play Piketon. So they play 3 SVC schools. So
yeah, that's like a little cross county rivalry right there.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
They're still technically in Pike County down there in Waverly.
Yeah, Pike County is Waverly and Piketon, and I think even Western's in there. But hey, man, it's good to see you, dude. I mean, how'd you enjoy your break? I mean, 2 whole weeks off from listening to us talking to microphones. That'd be great for people.
Well,
right?
I mean, I was listening today. I was super bummed I couldn't come out.
Hey,
Yeah.
so what'd you think about Brice and Zane, man? You got any thoughts on them?
Oh, great conversation, man. It was just two dogs. It's gonna be. I was kind of wondering if that one incomplete pass they threw at Piketon, maybe
Wasn't a real pass?
Huh?
Wasn't a real pass?
No, I was thinking maybe that Zane had something to do with it.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah,
hey,
maybe he got a
didn't
little
think
pressure
about
on
the
him.
dog on the other side.
Hey.
Didn't think about the dog on the other side.
You never know. It's just something. I'm real excited to watch those two go at it this year.
Oh, yeah.
It sounds like, dude, last year's game between those two teams was a freaking barn burner. I mean, I think it was 34-32.
24-25. Yeah, I mean
36-32. That was the final score. 36-32 with that game. I mean,
I was talking about 24 for 25 passes, only one incompletion.
yeah.
I mean, you would have to keep like if you're not keeping up with it, it's not going to be it's not going to be a barn burner. You're just not going to not score.
yeah.
You know, having that much success in the air.
Dude, man, I'm so juiced for this fantasy draft, man. I am so freaking juiced.
It's going to be electric.
Yes, man. Hey, so a couple things. Paints, they start their road to glory this on this fine Sunday. I hope we got some rain, but it's looking good out here. So yeah, hey man, they're defending their championship today. Run starts now. I mean, what do you think about that?
I
Tone?
saw that.
Sorry,
I saw
what's
they
that?
won their last season closer game. I saw that they won that
Championship ring game.
Yeah,
They gave
yeah.
out
Yes,
last
sir.
year's replica ring.
Yeah, and hey, that's the momentum that you need to go into the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, a lot of teams can be like, "Oh yeah, we lost the last game. Who cares?" Like, no, man. Like, ending the season on a win is definitely good for you going into the playoffs and just riding that high.
Absolutely.
I mean, even if you lose in the playoffs, you can still say, "Hey, we ended the season on a win because you did." Hey, real quick, Tony, stand up for me. Let me see that jersey.
Oh, we got
dude,
the
it's
dead
Chris
stock
Webber.
champion,
Oh,
Chris Webber.
yeah.
Banger.
I love it.
Tom Cruise, what do you have to say about it? Oh, his mic must be off.
He was
Yeah, I
getting
was
real
I was
ignorant
afraid it was
earlier.
going
We
to be
had
that
to shut his
Reggie
mic
Miller
off.
jersey, and I was like, yeah, I'm sure you waited till I wasn't up to wear that one.
Dude, hey, Talking about worldwide leader in sports, ESPN. I had that on last night, and I didn't know that UFC and MLB did a crossover. Because that dude on the White Sox got absolutely knocked
Tim
out.
Anderson got
He was having
slapped.
Dude,
he was having trouble walking off the field.
dude,
He
it was
had
hard to
walk
watch.
off,
And the
man.
guy was.
I love Jose Ramirez too.
He's
so
like,
it's
well,
when-
he's been asking for it for quite a while. now.
Well, there's a lot of history with
Yeah.
his kind of complaints. A lot of players mess with him, and then he kind of.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about like him as a person to say that he plays the victim, but it seems that way a little bit. But who
I know
knows?
enough about his right hand that I don't want to try
Dude,
to
because at
find
first
out.
he kind of comes in, it's kind of nice with it. He's like, dot,
Yeah.
dot, dot. Jose Ramirez is just like,
Boom. See you
Big-
later.
Speaking of
Dude,
sleeping
but yeah,
pills, you guys
man.
watch
I haven't
any
seen
of
a
the,
strike like
the
that
Jake
since
Paul?
David Bell.
You guys watched that Jake Paul Nate Diaz fight last night?
I didn't. So I watched the highlights on Twitter. A lot of controversy about that, though. A lot of controversy. Who do you think won?
So that's the thing. I didn't get a chance to watch it as I was enjoying some extracurricular activities last
You
night.
had a lot of candy, I know. It's okay.
Yeah, yes, I did. Yeah. So my friend who was watching, he was telling me he was like, I had a couple mixed people, like mixed reviews from different people. A couple people were telling me that Paul probably won most of the fight, and then I had a couple people tell me that Diaz won like 7 rounds, and it was just kind of, I don't know. I would probably have to give it to Jake just because I think Nate's not that. He's not boxing elite when it comes to striking.
Well,
His
what do you
biggest
think
thing
about
is
Jake immediately after the fight doing a rematch in UFC?
Well, they were talking about doing that for a little while now because Nate kept that was Nate's whole thing was he was like, I'm a UFC guy. I'm not a boxer. I'll box you, but you have to step in the cage with me.
I think, yeah, and I think if Jake, can you imagine if Jake beats him in boxing and then goes in the? I'm not saying he will, but how hilarious would it be if he goes into the octagon and just mops the floor with Diaz? Like,
So
Now,
the only
I
reason
will
that
say
would
this.
happen is because he's like out of his game, doesn't care, and it's a paycheck.
yeah.
So like, if it was, I'm
But
not
what
saying
if it,
Nate
like,
Diaz
what if
was
you're
the best.
watching it and it's very clear that Diaz is trying to win?
I just think right now you could see his belly that he's not the Nate Diaz he used to be. Like he came
Well,
out.
that's the thing with the Diaz brothers. They never looked like they were in great shape all the time, but they were just marathon runners. They just love cardio.
They
and that was their
also
thing.
were doing extracurriculars at the weigh-in and the press conference.
Yeah. He's definitely a little past his prime, and he's probably just out there having fun. But something people forget about is Jake Paul actually was a great high school wrestler. I don't know if he was quite collegiate level, but he was a pretty good high school wrestler. But Nate's ground game is definitely phenomenal. That's like what he's most known for. But I'm just hoping for another good fight.
So, dumb question. Like, I know wrestling and UFC obviously go hand in hand. You should be able to take something from wrestling and put it into boxing, right? Like footwork or something like that. Or
The
is it just
gloves
too
are way
different?
different. I think
That's
the
what I
biggest
thought.
thing is like going from being able to run and running with just a little bit of weight on your ankles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it makes it a little bit different, but it's
I
also
guess the cardio is about the only thing that you could.
But like with boxing, just like with wrestling that he was talking about, it's a whole different thing. It's like, dude, when it's just you're locked in a thing and you're both using as much strength as you can, it doesn't have. You can wrap each other up, but then somebody breaks you up. But like in boxing, you don't have those moments where it's just extreme exertion 1v1,
Yeah.
which happens in MMA and stuff. Which, you can have technique and stuff, but when you're used to that, I think that's what would be the separator for jumping into the cage.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Oh yeah.
lost it.
Oh, that was a good say right there.
Yeah, lost it.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that didn't get lost last year, and that was a game for Unioto.
Yeah.
They ran through last year. They finished the league with a gold ball, 14-0, and they were 24-0 up until, or I think 25-0 up until the regional semi loss. Adam, did you get a chance to look at the end of that Sheridan game?
I have not, unfortunately. I have not got a
Dude,
chance,
so-
I've been told that's
They're
was a
down
real good one.
14 at the end of the third quarter, right? and this again is district final game. Miley Smith goes off for 14 points and like 5 or 6 rebounds in the fourth quarter and hits a buzzer beater for them to come back and win the game. All in the fourth quarter, dude. It was
Big time.
It was one of the most big ticket item players I've seen in high school in quite some time.
There's skill, and then there's basketball IQ.
Yeah,
pure IQ. That was just.
And also, you gotta think it's just pressure making diamonds, man.
Yeah,
pressure making diamonds.
Well, I was telling Tony because he was like, we were talking about because she steals the ball and then she shoots it, misses, and then puts in her miss for the game winner. And Tony was like, yeah, right place, right time. And I was like, yeah, well, I was in the right place, right time quite a while when I played, and I didn't do anything. So it's like right place, right time, right athlete. You know what I mean? And that's insane to think about. And, dude, I was going to read the scores of their games last year, but I just don't. They were molly-whopping people, dude.
I'll read it for you. A lot to a little.
It was insane, man.
Every single one.
Dude,
pretty close.
You know what, guys? We can talk about it all day, right? Or we can bring on a 4-time SVC Coach of the Year, a 6-time SVC champ, a 4-time gold ball winner, a 2-time district champion, a 7-time sectional champion with over 200 wins, Jeff Miller! Jeff, how you doing on this fine Sunday?
Good. How you guys?
Oh, man, we are electric. Thanks for stopping in on the show.
Not a problem, man. Glad to be here.
Oh, hey, so we'll kind of just jump right into it, man. That Sheridan game at the end of the year last year is single-handedly one of the best grit comebacks I've ever seen in high school basketball. Can you just talk about that game for us a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you wouldn't believe how many people have come up since that day and commented like, man, that might have been the best high school game I've ever seen,
I believe it.
Considering, you are in the district finals, 2 really good teams going at it, and just kind of the way the whole game played out. But no,
Yeah.
it was one of those games, going in, playing Sheridan, they're a traditional power. We kind of knew it was going to be a good game. I think with our youth, maybe, beginning of the game, we might have been a little bit timid, a little hesitant to do some things, kind of got ourselves in a hole. And then, like you said earlier, I think we're down 14-15 going into fourth quarter. And, let's just be quite honest, it became the Miley Smith show at that time.
Okay, it is. So, Coach, not to cut you off, we've been so scared to say Miley because we couldn't figure out if it was Miley or Millie and didn't want to throw disrespect. So it is Miley
We
Smith,
always
correct?
respect all the players.
It is Miley, but around these necks, sometimes we call her Little Millie. So
Little Millie! All right! I love that. All right.
One day I'm going to ask her if we can call her that.
Yeah, it's Miley right now. We will eventually graduate to Little Millie. So Coach, I want to ask you. So obviously, you touched on it. You're going to play Sheridan in a district title game, known powerhouse, right? What my coach Dave Shoemaker did when we play games like that is he'd bring in like some former players that are a little bit faster, a little bit stronger to kind of help us go up against them and get the speed of the game and what they're kind of trying to do. Did you do anything like that going into the Sheridan game?
Honestly, we didn't. We didn't have a whole lot of time there to do that. And to be honest with you, Clay, it's doing that on the girls' side of things is a little bit more difficult than the boys. To be honest, I coached boys for probably 10, 15 years before I switched over to girls. It seems like, with the boys, you can go get some alumni and they want to come back in and compete and all that. A lot of times with the girls, you try to get a girl that's 4 or 5 years out and they've already got married, got a family. They're not really wanting to come
That's
in
true.
and
That is
get
a
up
little
and down the
different,
court.
yeah. I didn't think about that.
If you want a longest yard it, we could come down and play the girls and make them feel good about
Yeah, I can
themselves.
play for 1 minute so I can run out of breath and die on the court.
Well, now that I know that, you guys will be on speed dial when we need to bring a team in.
Way to go,
What
Toad.
did
Now
I
we have to
do?
exercise. Way to go.
Clay hasn't done any physical activity since he left the lawn care business.
This is my physical activity every week, is getting in this chair up and then back down. But, Coach, I don't want to say I'm a coach. I've done JV and junior high more of as like a favor, I got to ask, you're down, like you said, 14-15 going into that fourth quarter. What do you say to your team?
Clay, at that point, we were kind of like, hey, listen, okay, it's 14. It's not something that we can't do. but you're not going to do it all at once.
Right.
So we said, let's just take this last quarter. Let's try to chop this thing up into like 2-minute games, you know, and after from the 8 to 6, let's try to cut it to 10. You know what I mean?
Right.
From 6 to 4, let's get it in single digits to the point where down the last 2 minutes, we're within striking distance. And that's kind of how it played out, to be honest with you.
Right. And you got that third quarter ends in probably the worst way imaginable. You know, they get a cheap, nice long pass. They get a layup right to end it. So I'm sure that had to be a little bit defeating for you guys to go into the fourth quarter, like, you know, just had a big play, and to come over that, that's just a whole other obstacle. So, and I'm just saying that because that's so many things that you come over in that fourth quarter, and it looks like you guys turned the press up a lot. Like, it looked like you did throughout the game, but that fourth quarter, man, that press looks suffocating. I mean, press Virginia, like, you know.
Absolutely.
Is that something that you guys keep in your back pocket, or?
You know, it's one of those situations. You know, when you're doing your scouting, there's times when you think, you know, we're going to come right out of the gate and we're going to press you right from the tip and get after you, turn you over. I mean, when you start getting deeper into that tournament run, those aren't teams that you're going to be able to just press, you know, 32 minutes a night.
Right.
You got to kind of pick your spots. So. It was one of those situations we had done a little bit of it throughout the game, but obviously when you're down 14, it's like, okay, we got to go now. We're down to 8 minutes. We're going to have to go and not come out of this. And, you know, obviously the girls kind of dug deep there, and you're right. Our pressure in that fourth quarter really gave them a lot of problems.
And I thought it was cool too. It shows how much trust you had in your team, because there's about a minute to go, and I think you guys were still down. I want to say 4 or 6 points. And instead of fouling and, like, prolonging the game, they just kept pressing. You got some good traps in the corners, and you forced turnovers. The only fouls that that I saw were called were the refs thought you guys were wanting to foul. You know what I mean? So
yeah, no, you're right. And again, that goes back to some scouting. I had a note card in my back pocket with their foul shooting percentages on it. And you look out there and you're like, okay, Stinson's an 89% shooter, Soffel's a 83% shooter. It's like, gosh.
Anyway, into the line's automatic.
Yeah, if you put them in the line, it's pretty much 2 points going the other way. So,
and then it comes down, I got to say it again, Miley Smith. I mean, what's it like, to have a player like that where, you know, you have a young core, and I'll speak on it here in a little bit, but when it comes to Miley, she's just one of those players where she could just take over a game, obviously. 17 points, 5 or 6 rebounds in the last quarter. You're the coach. You're going to see it in practice every single day. What's it like getting to coach somebody like that?
You know, she's a generational type player. She really is. You know, she's one of these kids with a different mentality. I'm telling you, she's a 28, 30-point scorer every single night.
Yeah.
But honestly, she's just not. She's not one of those kids that looks to do that. You know, she'd rather have 16 points, 7 assists, 10 rebounds. In her idea, you know what I mean? That's a better game than 30. But she's also, you know, last year was her freshman year. By the end of last season, I think she started to understand, like, there's times when a kid like her has to take the game over, you know?
Yeah. And I agree with you. Just kind of watching, obviously I didn't follow as along as deeply as I'm going to this year, but just kind of watching guys along, it looked like kind of after that midway point, she like hit like a whole nother gear, it seemed like. Like you said, she could do the 30 whenever she wanted to, and it seemed like at the second half of the season, she's like, it's not a want to, it's like, I know I need to do this sometimes just to get a W for us.
Yeah, and you know how that is. You guys have played sports. I think coming as a freshman, you know, you're not looking to step on anyone's toes. You're not looking to. You're kind of trying to look to just fit in, you know. And credit to our upperclassmen, as things got going, I think they kind of pushed her to be like, Miley, you know.
Yeah.
If you can go score. You know, like if you can take this game over, go do it. That only helps us in the long run.
And speaking on your upperclassmen. And we've been talking about you guys you're loaded for years to come. You have Miley, she's a freshman. I know you had Maggie Holbert, she's a freshman. You guys have a lot of good young talent. How I kind of a two-parter here. One, how does that make you feel as a coach? And two, how did you handle? You have the upperclassmen, but you can't ignore these younger classmen that are just. They're balling right now. So how did you handle that dynamic?
as a coach, you're never going to complain when you got a cupboard full of talent. I mean, you're not going to be like, it's too much talent. Let's get rid of some.
I get that.
But there is that piece of how do you get that stuff to gel? How do you get that team to unite? Those kind of tasks that are in front of you. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of that goes to the kids. Obviously as a coach, you're going to be accepting to whoever you got. Are the kids going to accept this new kid coming in? And maybe you got an upperclassman who was your leading scorer the year before, but now you got this kid who's a generational type player that's going to. Our kids were awesome. They were awesome. Yeah. I mean, they totally buy into. I don't care who gets the credit. I don't care who takes the shots. All we want to do is play together, win basketball games.
That's awesome. That's absolutely awesome.
You mentioned it earlier about mentality, and I think that's something we talk a lot about on the show is, to win so handily sometimes and have such a great season, you have to have a mentality that, the work's not done. And honestly speaking, some of those scores, kind of, a lot to a little, you got to keep the mentality that you still got to be getting better and working on your game and things. What's the mentality of these girls? Is it something that you're instilling? Do you feel like this pocket of them just has a, something unique to them, or what's the mentality of them?
I think it's probably a combination of both. I think that just the way these girls, their friendship outside of basketball, is they're a really tight group. Outside, you'll see them hanging out together, and right now they're probably all sitting out the Ross County Fairgrounds in a camper or something. I mean, but no, I mean, I think that that goes a long way. And as a coaching staff, we just consistently preach. You can't worry about we got to take care of what we do. Right. We are looking to get better every day. It doesn't matter if we've just beat someone by 30, 40 points. Great. Shake their hands, go on. Let's get back to work the next day.
Yeah. And kind of going on the schedule, what I love about you, and I'll just say the elephant in the room, there's obviously some people around the county and the league and stuff like that say, Unioto's so good because, they're the biggest team in the conference, stuff like that. I admire that this schedule you guys have upcoming next year is not a walk in the park. You have Olentangy, you have Dublin. What made you obviously want to put the tougher opponents on the schedule?
Well, I mean, I'm a firm believer that you play your 14 games that you have on schedule in your league. Doesn't matter what happens. I mean, that's it. You got to play those no matter what. Those other 8 games, I really think you need to be really creative on that, depending on what type of team you have. Obviously we're in a situation right now we're pretty daggone good. And,
yeah, I would say so. With
that in mind, I just really wanted to up our non-league schedule. I wanted the kids to get challenged because, again, these are 15, 16, 17-year-old kids. If every night you come out and you're not getting challenged, there's a chance that you just kind of become complacent and just start coasting. And I didn't want that. And I also, some of these things we're going to this year, some of these events, I guess what you call is there's going to be some unbelievable talent at some of these things. Like you said, we open up down it's actually second game of the year. We play Huber Heights Wayne. Down at Cincinnati Sycamore.
Good, very, very good school right there.
Very good school. They got a sophomore, Brooklyn Hall. Her sister plays for University of South Carolina.
I was trying to tell you. So, not to cut you off, Coach. So, Tony here, he's actually from Pennsylvania, the Philly area. So, he's kind of getting up to speed with, like, these schools around here. And he's like, Wayne, are they good? And I was like, oh, buddy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so, I mean, you go down there, and I think it's the game right after us down there they call it the Queen City Clash, but the game right after us is Purcell Marion. I know they've got a sophomore named Dee Alexander that just got done competing for the USA 16-year-old team. She's got offers from UConn, North Carolina, South Carolina, ranked top 5 in the country. I mean, it's just there's just loads and loads of talent at some of these events. And then the one we go to the one at Classic in the Country where we play Olentangy, and that thing is one of the coolest events. It's right in the middle of Amish country.
Hell yeah!
It's a 3-day event. They got teams coming in from Canada. There's a couple from Pennsylvania. There's a couple from Michigan. So, just giving these kids these experiences as well. Those are lifelong experiences they'll be talking about for a long time.
Oh yeah, and talking about the things you guys done, I don't know if it was last year or a couple years ago, you guys went and played the old Hickory Gym. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, last year we opened up over at the Hoosier Gym last year.
Dude, how was that? How was that? I mean, talk about experiences. That's something that's a lifelong memory right there.
Oh, I mean, to be honest with you, Clay, it was probably more important to me than it was to the girls. You know what I mean? It's like, that movie was more in my day,
Yeah.
So,
I grew up on that movie.
When we talked about it, you had a few of the girls like, oh yeah, that's cool, and then you had a few of them looking at me like, why are we going to go play in this little old gym
over in Indiana?
Yeah, so
don't even know what it means.
We had to show the movie that week to get them accustomed to what was going on. But no, that was a super cool experience.
My dad actually, so that Hoosiers, whenever they made it, they went around to a bunch of old gyms in Indiana to shoot it, to make it like the time frame. And the scene where the guy shoves the other guy into the trophy case and starts the big old fight, that's actually my dad's old high school gym. He has had a piece of the floor from it and everything like that. So Hoosiers has a soft spot in my heart, man. I love that. So I see all these schools going over there. I'm like, I need to go watch a game over there. That seems awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
But we want to. You've been talking about. I mean, you have a great team. You've had so much success. I mean, like we said, 201 wins, 201 and 84. I mean, that's a great record, man. My coach, Coach Shu, he had his biggest thing with coaching was relationships. He thought if you had a great relationship with the players, you can ask them to do things that maybe, they probably wouldn't do for any other coaches, stuff like that. But that was one of his core values. And I'm really interested, man, to see the success that you had. What's a core value that you try to instill anywhere that you're going to coach or any team that you're trying to coach?
Clay, I think coming straight from Coach Shu, I think he's extremely accurate on that. I mean, that's one of those things that if you can develop those relationships, it's that motto that they don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes, I cannot agree with what you said
100%.
anymore, my friend. I love that.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not just I don't think it's just caring about these kids at the game of basketball and being on your team, but caring about those kids outside of basketball. I told someone, I said, there's not one of the best things I think as a coach right now in coaching girls is, I don't know how many times I've got the phone call about, hey, coach, I'm pregnant, getting ready to have my first child. And I'm like, for a kid to take the time to call you to let you know that relationship you had really is long term. You know what I mean?
And that means that you yourself are doing something right, Coach. I mean, I love hearing that. That's awesome, man.
Going to a military boarding school, my basketball coach, I really respected him, Coach Conroy. He's actually passed, so rest in peace, Coach Conroy. But he had an individual relationship with each one of us. We came from different areas. It was a boarding school and it was military, so it was a very interesting environment. But he built a relationship with each one of us. And yes, he had, stuff running through the whole team, but I thought that was really key. But to be honest, they're not calling you if you don't have that individual relationship. If you have a major life event, they're not doing that unless you're doing something right. I really appreciate that.
Oh yeah, it's so cool to see that we say all the time, the players around here, they're my teammates, my coaches, and everything like that first above themselves. And I think what's really unique around here is not just the players around here like that, the coaches are like that. Like you keep saying. You can sit here and talk about how great of a coach you are all day, and you're sitting here saying, it's the players, it's the team, and, you're just happy to be a part of it. And that just makes me happy to hear, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, as a coach, you're just one piece of the puzzle, honestly.
Yeah.
It's not about you. If you're coaching high school basketball because it's about you, you're in the wrong business.
I mean, yes, yeah.
To be honest with you, we're not out there getting checks of hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this. There's something else that's driving someone to be a high school coach.
And how I know you love it is I was watching the clip of Miley hit that buzzer beater, and you see you come running onto the yeah! Like it was awesome. It was so happy and awesome to see. Just not just you, not just the players, like how happy everybody just was, and how much you could. That just showed us right there how much hard work you guys have put in, and to see that to come to fruition was just an awesome thing to watch.
And they deserved it.
Yeah, Coach Holbert even told me after we kind of watched it all. He said that reminded him a little bit of the Jim Valvano NC State when they
When he's like, somebody give me a hug.
yeah, when Jim was just running around the court by himself looking around.
That's
Holbert
awesome.
said I kind of had that. I was similar to that. He said you're just kind of running around throwing your hands in the air. You know what I mean? So.
it was. Oh man! So, Coach, obviously you guys had a great year last year. Like I said, finishing 25-1, getting another gold ball for you. You putting tougher teams on the schedule. What are you guys doing in the summer? It looks like you guys went to a couple of. Were they shootouts or something like that?
Yeah, that's the thing anymore. There's been a transition in that. It used to be some team camp things where you go, and now a lot of that stuff's just kind of shootout based. So
yeah,
we went to a pretty cool event up at Cedar Point. I don't know if either of you guys have been up to the new sports complex up there.
Oh no, I didn't know they had one.
Oh man, it's you'll have to check it out like online. It's top of the line. It's probably 12 courts, beautiful facility outside. Outside, they've got softball fields, football, lacrosse fields, all turf. We went up there, and that was an invite only. I think there was 40 schools in Ohio that got invited, and they brought some. A lot of the NCAA coaches were allowed to come in that weekend, so we went up there. We played Harvest Prep, Shelby, Amherst Steel, Akron Stowe.
Oh wow!
So did that. Did a couple other shootouts. A couple local, couple out of town type things.
That's awesome.
You know what I like about
And then,
invite only?
of
It's not
course-
the invitational that everybody's invited to every year. Come on, that was invite. That is VIP basketball, bud.
Invite only, man.
Come on, baby.
I love that.
But no, then if you're lucky enough, and you've got these quality players, you're going to see them. We do that in June, and then in July they're back out doing their AAU stuff and their travel stuff. So
Yeah, I see
as soon as we get done with ours, my wife and I, we kind of in July outside of vacation, we love jumping in the car and. Just a couple weeks ago, we drove to Charlotte to watch Miley play.
Dude, that's so
Just
awesome.
drove through Charlotte.
Unbelievable
coming back to South
atmosphere.
Carolina.
You know what I mean?
Harping on it again, man. A high school coach is going to go all the way to Charlotte to watch his player. Like, again, more coaches like Jeff Miller, please. Like,
Please.
come on, man. That's
Please.
awesome. I got to ask you another question. I didn't know you used to coach boys as well. What's the big thing that you see jumping from boys to girls? Good, bad, what have you? What's the biggest difference that you kind of see in between that?
I think I coached boys. I don't even know how long it was, Clay. I coached Unioto as an assistant varsity coach, and then I also coached down at Benton County with Coach Combs for 6 or 7 years down there as his
That's
assistant.
Adam's territory right there.
Yeah, that's where I'm
There
from.
you go.
Yeah, you ever?
But,
when were you coaching down there?
I was coaching basketball with Matt Combs.
What
yeah,
year?
when was that? What years?
Gosh, it was like there was two windows. One would have been, I want to say like 99 to 01. And then I came back with, let's say like the, who would have been like the Ryan Kent, Ryan Stewart, that era. I'm aging
Dustin
myself,
Guthrie?
I can't remember what, probably about that. Yeah.
I say Dustin was my cousin. Now, when you were coaching earlier in like '99, was Ryan Cottle still there?
Ryan Cotto graduated. It was like,
Yeah, graduated.
Yep. Travis Bethel, David D'Aloia, Sean Avery,
Oh, okay.
those days.
Heck yeah.
Oscar
Yeah,
De
so
La
Sean
Hoya.
Avery. I grew up with Sean Avery too.
There you go. Sean wasn't a basketball player, but I figured you might know Sean, so that's why I threw that one out there.
He's a football player for sure.
But
as far as like coaching boys, coaching girls, it's all it's all basketball. I mean,
Yeah.
it's all related. You're going to teach the same type of stuff, but I think it's that external things. I told Combs and I have talked about this a lot. And he asked the same question. What's different? And I said, it's one of those things where I think sometimes in the boys game, I played basketball. I was probably similar. Sometimes you did your own thing. You thought you were good enough just to do your own thing. Where in the girls' game, you tell them what to do, and by gosh, they're going to do exactly what you told them to do.
Yeah, my uncle says that too. Actually, he's a girls. He did the same thing down in Missouri. He coached boys as an assistant for a few years, and then at the same school took over the girls program and kind of just took off with it. And he kind of said the same thing, and that kind of gave me appreciation, like to watch women's college basketball and like the WNBA. It's obviously nice to watch men's in the NBA, but I like watching them because the way they run their sets and the defense, it's so much more fundamentally sound. You can actually learn so much more from watching them rather than the men's just because of the way that they execute.
Well said.
Yeah,
Who would have thought women listen better than men? Who would have thought?
I'm sure my wife would definitely jump on that train. Jeff, thank you so much again. Like I said, coming out on a Sunday, I know you probably have better things to do other than talk to three idiots on the internet, but we really appreciate you, man. And we're really excited to look at this Unioto basketball team coming out this year.
Yeah, be glad to have you guys anytime you want to come over, practice, game, whatever. Holler at me.
We'll be there.
Heck yeah, man. Jeff, you're doing great things over there. I'm sure you'll continue to do great things. And, again, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to come talk to us.
Great words,
I appreciate it, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Miller.
Go.
Awesome. Dude. Absolute weapon.
So, like, sometimes you can have a
great
couple
conversation.
cuts with each interview.
Yeah.
We can got like 65 things.
Like, this was
that's a great coach,
dude,
great man right there.
It just touches my heart. The fact that he literally drives all the way to Charlotte, North Carolina to watch his player play. Like, again, Shu did that kind of thing. You know what I mean? And, like, obviously everybody here knows what Shu means to me. But, like, when Dylan would have a showcase in Indiana that's 4 hours away or in Pennsylvania or somewhere too far away, like, Shu was there. And, like, it just says something to the player, like
it means that much more knowing your coach has your back like
that.
You know, it's like, you know, no matter what, coach is gonna have my back. And then even like you're talking about Dylan, he's even still probably seeing Dylan play and stuff like that. I know when he was transferring and stuff like that, he was still reaching out to coaches for him. Yeah. So like, I mean, it's just the relationships, man.
Right, and it adds another factor too of like when Shu was ripping my ass, telling me and I was a dumbass and I need to play better, blah, blah, instead of me saying I fucking hate you, like it was more of like, okay, he's telling me this because I'm probably doing exactly what he's saying. Like I'm probably being
a little bit of a dumbass.
Yeah, I know that's shocking for some people to hear, but hey, it's out there.
But the individual relationships, man, like to speak on, hey, I'm having my first kid and things like that. They want him to be involved. They want him to know that, and that's not a normal relationship. That's really, really nice for people to have because in today's day and age, you know, a lot of people don't have a lot of people like that. So it's amazing for him to be that for so many people.
And be a constant, you know what I mean? It's not like I'm like this and then I'm not, and I'm like this and not. It's like, no, I'm like, I don't care.
Like, hey, our season's over. You're playing for another team.
Exactly.
I don't even care. I hope you don't get injured.
Yeah, or like, you just graduated. I don't care that you're having a kid. He goes, no, I was tickled to death that they called me to tell me they're having a kid. Like, that's true, genuine emotion, and it's just kind of awesome to see. You know what else is awesome
Clay,
to see?
Your wife's being mean to me.
Uh-oh, what'd she do now?
She told me that if I shaved, I'd probably have a double chin.
Oh, burn!
Tell her to quit.
You tell her to quit. She's probably watching right now.
Quit it, Savannah. I do have a double chin.
Double chin. Adam B-Dubs, Adam double chin. I don't know.
I'm proud of my cheese chin.
Hey, it's B-Dubs. Don't you dare go to double chin. I will fight you.
Well, hey, speaking of fight, actually, I think it's time to draft.
I think it is too.
All right. So, on today's episode of Dumb Draft Ideas that we do, sorry. We got to rewind. This isn't dumb. It came from MVD. MVD, this is not dumb. This is a great idea. Just so you know.
The drafts are dumb. The idea is great because it didn't come from us.
That's why Tony's here. So, what we're drafting today...
Tony, put your hands on him. He's going to say MVD's ideas are dumb. Put your hands on him.
I'm doing a bunch of cool stuff, and I'm typing my team up. Can't you see?
Can't you see? Can't you see? What that woman
she been
doing to me? Anyways, so what we're drafting today is there's the greatest assassin in the world. He's a ninja. Mm-hmm. He's a Navy SEAL. Mm-hmm. He's an Army Ranger. He's whatever else is super badass at killing people in the world. And he's out to kill you. So you have to draft a team of, are we going to do 4 or 5?
5's too many. There's not enough
Do 4?
rooms in a house.
All right.
They're gonna
So you have to draft 4 fictional characters to save you from the greatest assassin in the world. MVD, who are we starting with?
Who won last?
Oh. Who did win last? I think it was.
I don't think we voted it. I don't think we
Oh,
put the
yeah,
vote up.
somebody
I don't think
forgot
we
to put it on the
vote up.
Twitter. So, hey, we'll just go. Well, Adam, you got every single time because you're a monopoler on winning. Let's go, Tony.
Hey, I won that one.
Oh, Tony is the winner from last time. We did put it out. Oh, no, that's.
Oh, we did?
No, that's the dad one.
That's a dad one. Weird. Anyways, Tony's going to go first. Then we'll have our celebrity guest, Adam B-Dubs. And then we'll end it with me.
Who said I wanted to go first? Now you're telling me what to do. I don't know if I want to go first anymore. How'd I go first?
All right, you go first. Who are you drafting?
Only because the person that came up with this topic mentioned him while talking about this topic. Superman.
All
I
right.
take Superman because he was like, a normal human being ain't going to do crap against Superman. I'm like, you're kind of right. He's kind of a double-edged sword. And if MDD says it, I agree.
All right. So, Superman is guarding Tony. Adam, who you going with?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with something that's better than Superman. So
Is that possible?
probably gonna have to go. Probably gonna have to go Goku.
Oh,
I like
nice.
it.
All right. Surprise pick.
Ah.
Wow. Okay. Well, I need to go a different direction because I was not going where you guys were. And if I go
I
that
wasn't either.
direction-
Tony set the tone for this one.
I know.
Well, MVD said it first.
All right. Well, so I have to go. Okay, so you got Goku, you got Superman. I think the first person I'm gonna have to draft, and if the assassin is a child, I'll definitely be okay. It's because it's gonna be Anakin Skywalker.
Ah.
So I'm hoping. So I know you
Yeah.
know he didn't. So I get Darth Vader too, though, right?
Dude, he was kicked out of the Big Brothers Big Sisters Club, and I don't really know if he should be allowed to be drafted, but I guess we'll allow it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go with. No, you know what? I'll just go with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I like it. There you go.
Yeah.
That's fair.
There we go.
He's not a kid killer, so we'll go. And then the snakes, I'll go again. You know, we brought him up on a draft before. I can't remember if he got drafted or not, but I think I have to go with Mr. Incredible. I know I've done him before, but he's a G. I mean,
You weirdly like this movie a lot, and honestly, Mrs. Incredible is considerably better.
Mrs. Incredible's better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is
Absolutely
no?
she is.
How? Because she's elastic,
well-
elastic girl. I can grab the TV from here. That's super cool. Like what? No.
Yeah.
What?
One of them retired, turned his back on the game, became just a regular man. The other one was still out there superheroing.
That was Mr. Incredible.
No, he was retired.
And then he was doing it behind her back because he loves America and trying to save them. Duh.
Yeah,
We can have more of
it's
this
been a while since
discussion
I
off
watched
the air.
Incredibles.
Okay,
I've got
whatever.
an amazing pick
Mr.
coming that just came to my head
Incredible,
out of nowhere.
Well, you might want to hold on to it because it's Adam's turn.
Damn it.
So Adam, you have Goku. Who you go with as number 2? Oh, ask the girl.
No. I can't do Tony like that because I know that's who he's probably gonna go with.
It's not.
So honestly, I'm probably just gonna have to go with somebody like oof.
Oh, I don't know if Oof is allowed to be drafted.
Yeah. No, I mean Tony really changed the game by picking
He
Superman
did.
first.
Superman threw me in a whole loop. My whole list got destroyed. I literally deleted it from my
Yeah,
notes.
I was
I had a
ready to
whole
do
list.
people.
He said Superman. It's gone. So I don't know what I'm
Yeah.
doing now. Flying blind up here.
Man, I'm gonna try to pivot off the superheroes.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to go with Agent 47.
Okay.
Is that from Monsters Inc.?
So
I
from
thought
the
you was gonna go
Hitman
with
games,
Agent Michael
the best
Scarn.
assassin of all time,
Who's that?
Agent 47 from the Hitman games.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, I
MVD.
just thought of another really good one
Oh,
now.
well, you don't even have to say Hitman Games because that's a movie now.
Can you guys
It
hear
is.
this? Because this is my next pick.
No.
Did you guys hear that? Because it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, baby! We didn't break any rules because it was just shattered glass that I typed in on YouTube, not even the real theme song. That being said, Stone Cold Steve Austin is my next bodyguard.
Okay.
Why? Because Austin 316 says so, brother.
What?
What? All right. We
What?
got another pick, too.
Oh, and then I came up with this another good one while we were talking. Jason Bourne.
Okay.
I don't even know what I'm doing anymore, but I'm still an assassin.
All right. All right.
Who do I have?
All right, so Adam, so Tony, you have Superman, Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Jason Bourne.
Dude. Elite.
Adam, it's your pick. You have Goku and Agent 47.
MVD, did I break the rules? Cool.
Cool. Cool.
The suspense is killing us.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm trying to pick any. I'm gonna have to go with the Terminator.
The Terminator.
That's a good choice, though.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So
If you gave him something better to do than what he was doing originally, like protect you, he'd probably be pretty cool. He's just kind of a bubble.
Yeah, it's gonna be like Terminator from the
Everybody.
second movie when he's actually protecting John Connor,
Yeah.
not trying to kill him like in the
Yeah.
first movie.
So, it's my turn now, right?
You're asking me.
Okay. So, y'all gonna probably shit on me for this, but you know who's gonna save me? What are you gonna beat with magic? Give me Harry freaking Potter. Okay.
Oh.
How you gonna beat the magic? How you gonna beat him?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
We'll keep that off air.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Harry Potter is gonna save my life, and then
Longoria Leviosa.
Just get sniped from,
you ain't
like,
got
2
nothing on my
miles away.
squad.
and then listen. When there is times of panic, when the president needs someone to call, when he picks up that red phone and needs to call the one man to save the world, who does he call? Agent Michael Scarn from Threat Level Midnight is who I pick with my final pick. It's Agent Michael Scarn.
Kind of a bust pick.
Hey, did you not see him save the world against Golden Face, the #1 killer in the world? Come on, guys.
He also knows parkour.
Yeah, parkour.
Yeah,
Do you need some
but
paper?
he doesn't know who the
Because he can sell you that
Strangler
too.
is.
Does he need paper? Do you need paper? Because he sells it. He knows how it's made. That's a skill. Okay.
Chillicothe makes paper.
What? Oh. Adam, your turn.
I already know who my last one is, so Adam, it's your turn.
Oh, okay.
I can't even. I laugh at myself before I even talk. Pathetic.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Jack Reacher.
Who?
Jack Reacher, it's a Tom Cruise character. I'm pretty
The
sure
priest?
it's like if he's not Tom Cruise, then he's another guy, but he's like
What movie?
basically like a military guy.
Oh, so you go military. Hey.
Tom Cruise, John Wick.
Ah! Tom Cruise. He's not nothing on Michael Scarn from what I've done the stats on. But good pick. We'll go with that. Family Feud.
Tom Cruise is on the set.
Is he? We covered his whole face.
He thinks he's in the
It's
damn
you.
Air Force. He
Yeah.
doesn't even know where he's at right now.
Take off that hat. You'll see that piercing stare.
Yeah, that's why I had to put the hat on. All right. So you go with whoever the hell you just said, the Terminator, Agent 47, and Goku. I got Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mr. Incredible, Harry Potter, Agent And Tony has Superman, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Jason Bourne, and
Luke Feeney, baby!
Luke
Our town's mayor. If we are going to be assassinated, I want somebody that knows the ins and out of this town. This is for logistic purposes only.
Tony.
Is this fair? Can I take
No,
him MVP?
It has to be a fictional character.
Oh,
He's very
yeah,
real.
God.
I hope our town is not being ran by a fictional character.
No, Luke Feeney was a good answer in my opinion. So I need more logistics. I need more information. So let me go with Brian Scalabrine.
Real person
Fictional
again.
Character.
Damn it. This sucks. I hate this game. I just want to be disqualified. Tony the Tiger from the cereals
we
box,
go.
baby!
There we
Yes! That was stressful.
Oh my
retired.
God.
No, I'm dead from that. I can't even speak.
That was the last pick. Okay, well.
Was it the last pick?
Yes.
Way to end the game, me.
So, if you're still watching, we're surprised. But that will conclude our draft for the day.
Shout Luke Feeney.
Hey, you guys know what good podcasting is? Just laughing into microphones for like 20 straight minutes. I heard that's the best way to podcast.
Well, that's why it's just at the end. You know, if you want
yeah.
some real stuff from other people or just us trying to get real stuff from other people who are way cooler than us.
Well, everybody, thank you again for coming into today's version of Ride the Wave show. Again, we're just today 3 idiots. Again, Andy's out there. He's solving world hunger. He's fighting the good fight. He's fighting, I think, you know what? Why didn't we pick Andy? Oh, fictional character. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Idiot.
Yeah, tell him.
He doesn't know
Come
what
on.
fictional means.
So, Andy, you're out there in the Amazon.
Love
you're
you, bud.
saving lives. Thank you. Hopefully, we can see you back next week.
Shout out Andy.
Shout
Love
out to Andy. Again,
And then
Zane.
One more shout out. This one's going out to a friend of mine. Suck it, Teabag. Suck it.
Hey, T-Bag gave us. Hey,
Yeah, he did something
he
today.
gave us the note card to tell us that the schools are in the fantasy league. So with that
Oh,
note,
nice.
next Sunday when you tune in, it will be our live Ride the Wave Fantasy Football League draft show. It will have Derek
Next
and
Sunday.
Sunday. Will be
Live at
our-
the Honda Civic Center. No, it's not. It's going to be...
Yeah, so it's going to be actually something cool. It's going to be a live draft show, like we said, for the SVC Fantasy Sports. Please tune in. It's going to be a good time. That is presented to you by Wagner's Roadhouse because they have the best wings in town. So make
Football
The best.
wings together go great, so we picked the best ones.
sure. So
and
number
we-
one pick already secured, Wagner and wings and football. But make sure you stop by, get some wings from them. Support local businesses. Thank you again for supporting us. Again, this show is not possible without you guys coming in every single Sunday, giving us a listen. Please, again, hit that like and subscribe button on YouTube, on Spotify, at Ride the Wave Show 2023 on Twitter, at Ride the Wave Show on Instagram. Find us on Facebook. Tony, what you think with today's show, buddy?
Like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe button at the bottom of the screen. Send your hearts. And then, other than that, show is pretty good. I mean, again, usually, like, we're pretty cool. They're freaking awesome, and we just try to give them a platform. Like, dude, these people are so awesome. Every time we leave this show, we step into the area over there, and we're just like, how are they so cool? Everybody is so amazing, and I'm so blessed to be able to do this. I
we
want to thank everybody here.
Hit 3 home runs again today. Zane was electric, hard hitting. Hey, so you did a lot of. Before we get out of here, I know we're kind of signing off here, but you did a lot of research on Zane. What's your thoughts on him going into this year, Adam?
Boo! He's a big hitter. That's like... It starts off like the first couple of plays that I was watching on his huddle. It was just him smashing people, man.
Dude,
like,
he was sending them
there was
through
when the
earth.
receiver was coming across field, and you just see him put him down. He kind of
Sorry about the tremors, China. This guy's got a tackle.
Yeah, he's gonna lay some hurt to some people. He lays the wood for sure.
Yeah, dude, that's one thing on defense, man. If you can set the tone early, hitting people hard like that, it's gonna be a rude awakening.
He looks like one of those guys to where like after he hits somebody a few times, running back don't want to run as hard anymore.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like, Coach, I think we need.
It gets a little easier to tackle because he's wore down. He's like, man, I know what's coming. Don't go left side no more, Coach.
But again, we thank you, Zane. Thank you, Brice. Thank you, Coach Miller, for coming on to the show, feeding us your knowledge, letting us get to know you a little bit more. And again, thank you guys for coming out, giving us a watch. Go support the Chillicothe Paints. Hashtag go to win it all again for the
Championships.
Playoffs. Yes. First round of the playoffs tonight at the Chillicothe Paints. So go out and support them. Tony, you going to be out there?
I'll tell you one thing. I'll have it live on radio from the house as I'm cooking, because I tell you what, I want to figure out. Give me a nice home run now. What am I cooking at dinner?
All right, so we got Chef Tony.
I'm probably going to pull it up on the Prospect League, their website, so that way I can watch it from down here.
Yes, if you can't make it out there, do pull it up on the Prospect League just like Adam did on their website. Watch it online. Still a good way to support. Adam, glad you had a good time on that bachelor party, my friend. We hope to see you back in the studio next weekend.
Be back next week. Hate that I could only come in for like the last half of this show, but, happy to be here. Love you guys. I'll see you next week.
Hey, guys. Thank you, and we'll see you next Sunday. Derek, ride us out.